Things might get weird.
Yeah.
Welcome to our life.
Welcome back to another episode of the Hewlett House podcast.
Good morning.
Hayden and Jessica on the mics today.
I'm like, good morning because we're morning.
Yeah, that's okay. You can say good morning. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Good morning, good evening, good night, good morrow.
Good morrow. All right.
I like to be all-inclusive. To the daytimes. Or lack thereof.
Sweet. You're so nice.
I know. I already know that. We have Gwen with us today.
Hi, Gwen.
She's so cute.
She's so cute. She's sitting there so quietly.
She finished her preschool last Thursday, and the kids' last day of school is today. Yeah. So we're recording.
Well, did I go in Taft's preschool?
Yeah, it was the same preschool as Taft.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, we're recording now, okay? All right.
We'll stop talking about you, so you...
She's on the iPad, just like we talked about last time. This is our distraction time for her.
Listen, gotta do what you gotta do.
So, I'm gonna complain about you.
Me?
Yeah.
Cool. Go.
No, I'm just teasing. I just had a funny thought that we haven't talked about yet, that I was giving you a hard time for in a text message yesterday. Do you remember?
My brain is gone.
Does anybody else's spouse call you with the sky falling and it's really not?
Falling.
Yeah, that's you.
It wasn't falling. What did
like 2 weeks ago, Jess is like, the dishwasher, I'm going to go through each item just to make sure everybody understands that
I just want you to know that
this happens often. This isn't like a one-time thing. This is just the last couple weeks.
Broken.
No.
I have 4
You like
kids.
to give me panics. You like to make me panic. So this is why every time I hear something, I'm like, it's good. We're good.
Okay, go.
I feel like I run hot anyway. So then you're like, what is this happening? I'm like, okay.
Go.
Just breathe.
Start. The dishwasher.
Jess is like, the dishwasher has been shutting off, and we've already replaced it once.
But it was.
But it's working now.
I tried it 3 different times. I ran it 3 different times, and it just like, before the cycle was over, it would just shut off.
Was something in the way or something? Why is it working now?
I have no idea.
Anyway, it works now. We didn't do anything. I'm like, I'm just going to see how this goes.
Jesus.
And I haven't heard
anything.
Oh, all right. I don't know if he had anything to do with it, but maybe he did.
Yeah, he's helping me out.
Then I get on I went hunting last week, and literally the first day I get there, I'm like, we're unpacking, and Jess calls me or texts me or calls me and says, I turned on the water, which thanks for doing that, by the way, and I'm sorry that you did that. Had to do it. I should have done the water before I left.
The grass was dying, so I was like, well, let's just turn on the water.
Yeah. Well, it's been raining like off and on, and then we went a week or so without rain, and then our lawn started to dry up, and then I left on a bear hunt, and I get there, and Jess calls me and says, I turn on the water. I went to go turn on the sprinklers. The sprinklers aren't turning on. And like the main line you turned on, then you tried to turn on oh my gosh.
The meter.
The sprinkler system. And none of them were turning on. And then you notice water coming up under the driveway. And I'm thinking, oh, well, this is lovely. We may have to tear up our driveway to fix a freaking sprinkler line. And nothing makes me want to scream or hit things more than that thought. Mm-hmm. And we ripped out we put a little mother-in-law apartment in our basement. And when we did it, we ripped out some grass and put more driveway in for parking. And luckily we put a little metal cap in the cement that you can pop off.
Like a manhole type cap.
Yeah, a little manhole cap. And under there was where it actually broke. It wasn't under the driveway. It was just, it's not very deep. And I think there was some blocks under there that had moved, and I think this is a freaking nasty winter. It's the first time we've actually had broken pipe from the winter.
Well, and I was thinking too, I'm like, it's not covered by a whole bunch of like grass and dirt to like keep it warmer right there. Like it was literally just that
there's a hole right there where it broke, yeah. And
so I'm sure it got even colder there at that elbow.
So luckily our sprinkler guy, did you text Scott and let him know it's fixed? Anyway, our awesome lawn guy came over. He hasn't been able to mow, and our yard looks so good when it's mowed, and it looks awful when it's not.
Sorry,
we just
neighbors.
have this like crap growing up in it, and he's going to help us with that too, I think. But even if he just stays on it once a week, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he came and he was going to try to rip it out and replace the whole pipe, which I'm actually glad he didn't do, just because more money and it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
And Scott made a good point when he came. He's just like, just fix that elbow and see if that does the trick and save yourself some time, money, and hassle. And he was late, so I was actually planning to go grab the stuff Monday morning, but then he showed up and just took care of it, and it's fixed. And I feel like the pressure in our yard sucks, even though we've cleaned out some filters. But anyway, the water was coming up under the driveway, or that's what we thought, but it was just coming out of that manhole.
But it was leaking. It wasn't coming out of the manhole ever. Like there wasn't.
Did you not check it right away under there?
No, I didn't even think to.
I didn't. I totally forgot about it. Yeah.
So, but it was literally coming up the cracks of the driveway. It wasn't coming up the manhole. So that one I'm not.
But it was the water main, which is why it came up. What was the other thing I teased you about?
What did I do yesterday? There was something yesterday.
What did I text you?
Oh no, but the sprinkler one was because I was like, it's still not working. I tried to turn on the key after he got it going. Or got it fixed, that line fixed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the sprinkler's still not working, but it was like a blonde moment. I know I'm a brunette, but still. Where I didn't turn it to run. I just was like trying to do the setting of the... Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Doesn't make sense. Look at me. Look at me. You gotta react. I didn't turn it to run, remember?
Yes.
And
oh yeah,
I was
that
like,
was it.
oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
yeah, then Jess was like, "This we were FaceTiming."
I'm like, it's still not working. It's so weird. And then
the computer that turns on the sprinklers, the little switch. I'm drawing a blank on what it's called, but yeah, that little that turns it on. You just weren't. You know how to use it.
I know. Yeah, it was just one of those moments where I was like trying to hurry and do everything, and I just didn't turn it back.
So you're like, the water's still not turning on, and I'm like, so now we have to tear up the more grass and everything, and we didn't. It just worked. So anyway, a few examples. Yeah, keep me on my toes. That's great. Try to find a solution or look at it just a little bit before you call me in a panic. That'd be nice. You usually have been so good about that. I just feel like sometimes
my brain is gone.
I think no, it's not. It's just
no. It was like last night. I was talking with Ashley and Megan too, and I was literally using words as if they were the words that I meant to use, and then 10 or 15 seconds later, I sat there and I was like, "That actually isn't the word." I was like, "What's an example?" I was like saying that today I was going to play a game or something.
Parcheesi?
I was like, no, I mean like right now I was playing that game or something, right? Yeah. Like I was using the wrong word for the time or I don't know. It took me a while to like catch on to what I was actually supposed to be saying.
I was showing some friends some houses this week, and we were my buddy was trying to ask me like about the fireplace. He speaks Portuguese too, and he's like he called it a gas station. He's like, do most of the homes have a gas station? And I looked at him, I go, what do you mean? And his wife's like, I think it's his Portuguese. Sometimes he's English first language, but he did grow up speaking Portuguese as like a really close second language.
That's so funny.
And so she's like, I think sometimes with his Portuguese, I'm like, gas station. And she's like, I think he means the fireplace. Cause like,
she caught on.
Yeah, she totally caught it. She was awesome. And I'm like, oh my heck, that's so funny. Like it just, sometimes you get little funny words I do it all the time. Or I can't remember a word or whatever, but...
Yeah, I did it like twice in a row last night, and I'm like, what am I... Like, I'm literally losing my brain.
Yeah.
So if we have any, like, memory or...
Well, the other funny thing...
We're
the exact same age, pretty much. Yeah. Like, graduated the same year. And we got chatting, and I told him about my midlife crisis that I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, it's kind of nice that I actually even know what it is, because I'm like, what the hell? But I'm telling him about it, and he's like... Oh, I'm there too, dude. I'm there. Like, it was kind of funny. I'm like, oh, good, cool. You know, I'm like, I'm not alone, you know?
Yeah.
And and then we got talking about, we come walking out of this house to go get in our cars, and his wife's telling me about a friend of theirs that, like, someone they know that was going through a midlife crisis, and they're getting divorced. He's getting a divorce, and he's got, like, a toupee, and she's like, it's not even a good toupee. It's, like, a really bad one. And then she's like, and he bought a sports car, and I looked at her, and I look over at my car, and I'm like that one over there. And mine's not like a crazy sports car, but I went and bought an Audi last year, and I'm like, yeah, that was part of it there.
Yeah.
I think that's a good time.
So cool.
I'm kind of laughing, and I'm like, yep, that's the perfect example.
We got the car. We got the car check.
And I already want a different one. I want a truck now. My dad just got a Ford Raptor, and it is freaking rad. So, and a Bronco, and he's got all the cool stuff now. But just makes me want a truck now again.
Just ask him to
I want to go fast and have a truck. Go fast.
I want to go fast.
Oh, and that
Gwen
ride's
used to
so
always
nice.
say that.
That ride is
Dad,
awesome.
I want to go fast when you first got it. Now she's all scared of it.
Yeah, now she
doesn't
says,
wanna
Dad,
go.
are you going? This morning she asked me when I took her she went with me to take the kids to school. She goes, are you going fast? And I said, no.
She's
No, last night, I
bossy
think.
pants,
Anyway, yeah,
dude.
she's like, are you going fast? And I'm like, I'm not going fast, but I'm not going slow. Like, you wouldn't want to jump out of the car right now if that's where we're at.
No.
And she's like, okay. It was actually, it was last night when we were picking the kids up from their play tryouts, auditions.
That's so funny.
But anyway.
Funny.
I learned a new thing about bears I didn't know.
What?
And I'm not a mighty hunter, for whatever it's worth.
So you went bear hunting this last week.
Yeah, and it was so awesome.
Awesome.
My family kind of brought it up to me, and then they hadn't brought it up, and I think they had enough people going. I kind of invited myself at the end of the day, but he said he was happy to have me, so thanks, Bri. But I didn't know how much I needed it. It was just really nice to get in the mountains, and I'm a shower twice a day kind of guy. I used to love like camping and scouting and like all that stuff as a kid, and the older I get, I'm like, if we go hunting, luckily my dad's kind of the same way. If we go hunting, it's like, let's find a hotel to stay in or even a motel where we can shower at night.
Yeah.
But it was actually good for me to just be like, have a little chaos, have like everything out of order for a little bit, be dirty. I did take one little quick shower in the trailer, this funny little trailer that we had. It was awesome. It was actually great. And then the last day we did like a polar plunge in the little creek behind our...
I'm like shivering just thinking about it.
It was cold, dude.
So cold.
And I hadn't really ever done it. And I know ice baths have been a thing forever, right? But after like 30 seconds, I couldn't get my whole fat ass down in the creek.
It wasn't that
I did. I would... In the video we had, you didn't see me do it, but a couple times I like rolled over and got my head under and my whole body in. But after 30 seconds, my body went numb. And Dallin had told me he does them like every day, a cold shower or whatever. And he says that the cold showers are worse than just getting in the plunge because the shower like sprays you and it's like you're not holding still. Like you're kind of rotating, so your body can't really get used to it.
Yeah.
Where in a polar plunge, like you just get in and then it stings for 30 seconds and you go numb. Like I stepped on a stick getting out barefoot. We were in for a couple minutes. He's like, hey, Uncle Matt, to my dad, hey, set a timer for 1 minute. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we've already been in here for a minute, you freaking spaz. I'm like, I don't want to be in here for another minute. So then we had to wait it out. I'm like, well, I guess I better wait. But it actually, I did feel good the whole day. It kind of gives you that, he says it gives you a good dopamine rush and whatever. So
that's crazy.
Anyway, my cousins, shout out, they own that. It's called the King Cool Plunge. Yeah. With K's. They were at FitCon and I think they've been doing pretty well with that. It's kind of like a luxury plunge.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a nice one. I haven't tried it out.
It's like a hot tub, but a plunge, right?
Yeah. I think you can actually turn the heat up on it and then turn it cold. And
But it's like a bathtub, I guess.
Yeah. Dallin kept saying, he's like, I'll bet this water is close to 40 degrees. It was chilly.
So cold. Well, and I was looking up to see like what a polar or the cold plunge, whatever, and it was like 60 degrees is what they usually try and keep it at. So I wonder.
Unless you're Joe Rogan, I think he's like, he tries to get it way low or whatever. But I looked at Dallin like, are we going to, I even straight up asked him like, are we going to be okay after this? Like, is this safe?
Yeah.
We're out in the middle of nowhere, you know? He's like, oh yeah, we're good, you know. He's in dental school, so he's basically a doctor.
He's smart.
I was asking him about fluoride, if there's a conspiracy around it. Oh, yeah. I even texted him. Gwendolyn. She's so cute.
Okay, you were asking about fluoride, sorry.
And I'm like, hey, because I saw some Instagram reel pop up, because he and I were talking about it too, like, is fluoride bad for you? And he's like, it actually really does prevent cavities. But this morning he said if we didn't have, because there's other countries that say they've banned it. Yeah. But he said it definitely strengthens enamel and reduces cavities. A lot of people that had fluoride when they were younger, that was an adequate amount have reduced their risk of developing cavities by a lot. The truth is, though, if we didn't eat refined carbohydrates, then we wouldn't get cavities. And then I asked him, because I had a dentist remember that dentist like 10 years ago? He did, oh my heck, what is it called? It was like a preventative measure where he, basically I had these deep grooves in my teeth where I'd get cavities every once in a while. And he's like, I can put like some.
Like a sealant?
Put the sealant on there, and it has, I haven't hardly had any cavities since then.
I feel like that's what they do with all of the kids these days.
I hope so. And Jalen told me, he's like, that's actually some of the best things you can do preventative wise. He's like, if dentists are honest or whatever, or something like that they'll do that. I don't know if there's a dentist listening. Shout it, like hit us up, but
let us know.
It can be really nice
That's right or wrong.
Yeah, because I've had them sealed up and ever since then I really haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
I've been to the dentist twice in the past year, but before that it was almost 4 years since I had been, and I had a tiny little cavity they didn't even numb me for. They just filled it in. Yeah. And that's the last time I was good, so anyway. But there's all those conspiracies where they say the fluoride makes you docile and stuff, so anyway, we could dig into that one someday, I don't know.
Maybe.
But I did buy the extra fluoride toothpaste that they
sold
me at the dentist.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Nice. Well, while you were gone.
Hold on. I also learned something else.
What? Oh, yeah. You didn't even tell us what you learned about bears.
So
10 minutes
this
later.
Is really lame. Yeah. Hey, sorry.
Let's focus in.
We're totally sober this morning, by the way.
Maybe we wish we were.
Marijuana brain over here.
Marijuana brain? What was that?
You being all forgetful. I just heard it anyway.
Oh,
it was another podcast I listened to. They were joking about it. But they, bears. So my cousin got a bear over the weekend. The last night they saw a bear the first night. These things hang out in the nastiest terrain ever, like where elk hang out too. Mm-hmm. But the first 2 nights they went down and hiked. They had to on their hands and knees across a log that went across this creek. They were getting across and then hiked up and couldn't get to this one bear. And so the last night we were there, nobody saw anything. So we were about ready to go pack up and go do a drive. Just go drive around and then head back to camp, go eat, probably pack up for the night and head home in the morning. Well, they spotted this bear and he ended up shooting this it was a black bear, but it was brown. It was like a brownish blonde. And I was reading up on it because my uncles were telling me, they're like, yeah, it's still a black bear, but they just come in different colors.
Yeah, which is interesting.
So I guess the further west you get more brown and cinnamon and black. You also get black, but then you can even get kind of a blonde type of a black bear. So they just come in different colors, and they're not as big as you would think.
Yeah.
His might have been a little bit younger, but it wasn't. It was pretty much. It was a full grown bear, and it just was like you could pick it up and throw it on your.
Yeah, he threw it over his shoulder.
Mm-hmm. I joked that it looked like the bears that they sell at Costco or the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory bears that you see there, But it was just nice to get out, nice and peaceful, and that they're not all black. Oh. That there are brown, black bear, and I was reading on the East Coast, most of them are a deep black, or in the further west you get, they tend to be different. But we saw moose, elk, white-tailed deer, antelope.
So cool.
A rattlesnake. It was a smaller one, but still.
Hard pass.
Yeah, I heard this little tick-tick, and I looked down, and I heard this little rattle, and it was just staring right at me from, 5 feet away. It was a little further than that. I don't know, 6-8 feet away.
Gives me the heebies.
Under a sagebrush, right when we were almost to the top of this hill we were trying to get to. And as soon as I stopped, looked down at it, I just waited a second, and it just slithered away and kind of gave some more rattles and just got deep under the sagebrush, and we just walked by. It was fine. But I've seen him out there before, out in the wilderness.
In the wild.
I am living in the wilderness.
Oh, yeah, freaking Nacho Libre. Yeah. Hiding under his little shitty shack. What is he?
Did you just say shitty shack?
Well, I meant not the S word.
Gwen is our swear word
shack. Patrol. I was trying to make a rhyme. And
I know you didn't. I know you didn't mean to. That's why it's funny.
So sorry. Apologize.
Every time I curse,
Explicit.
Gwen has her headphones on right now, but every time I curse, she is like the swear patrol.
She is. It's hilarious.
I'm like,
and if anybody else told you, even me, I'll be like, Dad, don't say that, because that's how she says it.
Yeah.
Anytime you swear, Dad, don't say that, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. But if I say it, don't tell me what to do.
Well, because I need to set a better example for her. You're already the example for the family.
I'm already.
Stop being a goody two shoes and leave me alone. No, you're not. Anyway, it was cool. We were on the border of Idaho and Montana, so the other side of the mountains we were on I guess it was Montana. Beautiful up there.
Cool. Yeah, it looked pretty peaceful. We need to get out in the mountains more.
Yeah.
We need to hike, or even just
nope.
Not serious hikes, just
This is the first day that my quads have been totally jacked since we hiked that. So we went down and helped him get the bear, and I carried Larry's pack out, and it was straight uphill. We hiked for 45 minutes straight up. I mean, it was really steep in some parts, but it was probably a straight 45-minute hike up this giant hill, canyon, ravine thing, and up to the top of the road, and as close as the truck could get. But
that's cool.
It was kind of nice. It was actually kind of felt good because I've been eating protein bars and snacks and crap all day, every day. And we'd hiked a little bit, but I don't like hiking just to hike. But if there's animals we're chasing or anything, I'm down. I'll go run around a whole mountainside, I think.
I like to hike, but it's again one of those things where it's like now as an adult, I know of all the little dangers that can be around, and it almost ruins it for me. You know what I mean? Like the more you're aware, the more it's like, the more anxiety you have. I
actually took my little pistol, I have this cool little 9mm 6-hour gun. Yeah. It's freaking rad. I didn't even actually shoot it. I should have shot it. I'm such a dummy. But I just had it on my side. I hardly even noticed it was there, that little carrying case I have for it. Just hooks on your belt. It was nice. Yeah. So then that way you felt like, okay, if
something
freaking
goes crazy,
mountain lion comes out, you could shoot it. Or bad guys.
Yeah.
In the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiff goes all the time. Brian's wife goes all the time, and she
saw a bear.
Goes by herself. She sees bears. She saw that massive moose head or whatever.
Oh, it was an elk that they found. They call them dead head. Yeah. They call them deadheads. It was just an elk that probably died from the winter. Just an older elk that just couldn't survive the winter because it was, again, nasty this last winter.
And it was huge.
It was a good size elk, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so while you were gone, though, the kids had all of the tryouts. What? Are we going to go to church? Yes.
Not today.
On Sunday. Okay. All Thanks for checking. Anyway, so the kids had all the tryouts, all the last minute, May is insanity. We all know. May's insanity. So I calculated, did I tell you? That I calculated how many times. So the kids' school is 7-10 minutes away from our house.
Did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I calculated this is not like drive to is one, drive back is one. This is like driving to and back is one trip, okay?
Oh, okay.
I went to their school, there and back, over 20 times.
From the time I left on Wednesday?
Well, no. I drove carpool Monday. And then Wednesday, yeah.
Okay.
So
over 20 times you were at the school.
One time on Monday, and then the rest of them were at least, or 20 plus even. So, yeah.
Holy cow.
More times.
Yeah.
Between Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah, life's going to be crazy. The fall's going to be nuts, too. Enjoy the summer.
Much. But it was it's good. It's all good stuff. It's all stuff that the kids are excited for and everything. But it was definitely crazy. We literally lived in the car. Poor Gwen.
You lived in the car. Poor Gwen.
Gwen lived in the car with me. Yeah. All those 20 trips, right?
Yeah.
But I let him watch Megamind. Usually I'm like, we have to be driving for 30 minutes or more to turn on the TV that's in there. But where we were just constantly going back and forth, I let her watch it. But I can't tell you how many times we watched Megamind.
Really?
I restarted that thing.
Does she like Megamind?
Yeah, her and Taft have been loving it.
Really?
It's a classic. If you haven't seen it for a minute.
It's pretty good, huh?
You know what I love about... There's this love-hate relationship when they're watching a movie, right? You don't get to listen to your stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Or music. You just listen to the show. You're not even watching it. But it's actually kind of fantastic because then you pick up on all of the lines that you don't when you're trying to visually watch too, right?
It's a different experience.
Your hearing sense heightens or whatever,
sure.
And so you're listening more, and you're making your own movie in your
in your head,
oh my gosh,
in your mind.
I was gonna say mind and then brain, then I was like, you're just envisioning it, right? Your brain envisionment.
Yep. Heard it here first. New words in the dictionary.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm it's kind of interesting to watch it that way or listen to it that way. So I actually didn't mind it because there were some pretty funny one-liners in there. So, anyway.
We were watching The Crude's New Age, and she was belly laughing. I put that on Instagram. She was laughing so hard.
That's the best when they do that.
It's so funny.
I love it.
We watched Mario last night. I didn't watch it. I was on my phone or listening to something. I couldn't.
Jack said it was really good.
I want to watch the new John Wick because I just watched all the other ones. And I'll be honest, I get why people don't like John Wick.
Oh.
And how many people can you kill before you don't die?
It literally doesn't let up, though. That's the only problem.
Oh,
is
it's
literally
finish,
a fight scene, and it's gory fight scene after fight scene after fight scene.
Yeah, if you think about it, how does it get any better than that? Like, why would you want it to stop? You want to be entertained. Like, just go.
I don't want to.
It's like, man, if you have 500 people chasing you with guns, you're probably going to die. But he doesn't. That's why it's so cool.
He's freaking amazing.
But I want to watch the new one that came out. I'm like, actually, I kind of like... They're entertaining enough. I do want to watch the fourth one. And it got good reviews.
Really?
Yeah. Got like a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it going to be like freaking Fast and Furious? How many did they say? Is it like 10? I think they were like literally on 10.
I don't know.
One of them just came out.
Don't hate me for saying this, but I cannot get into the Fast and Furious since
I
like,
liked the first couple. Yeah. I thought they were great. But anyway.
It's like another one comes out and I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
But I know it's clearly done well. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, back to the children. Maddie's trying out for all the things.
Yeah, I'm not
like
sure how
6 different things, and we'll probably have to like pick and choose. And Jack
is that what your plan is to let her? Hold on, is that your plan? Is to let? I've kind of been wondering how this is going to work because she's tried out for so many things.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's even going to have time.
Yeah, and she'll have to. We'll have to. There's no. I mean, knowing her personality. That's kind of something I wanted to even talk about today. So maybe let's get back to that with parenting. But so I went to Shania last night, which was like the best.
Shania Twain.
Oh, so good. And you know what? It was out at USANA, which, at least this time of year, was fantastic. It was good weather. You're out in the fresh air.
Wasn't too hot.
It was so packed, though. Like, so packed. Overpacked. I'm pretty sure that they oversold, and it was, like, a hazard. But it was awesome. And, good music. There's something about just good old country music.
Yeah.
Yep. Just makes you happy like that. I think that's why I love Nashville so much is I just sat there and enjoyed like the country vibe, music, everything. Anyway, I just loved it. It was a good, okay, you're gonna be on 24 hours a day with children for the next 3 months, so here's your breather for a second. Thank you. It was perfect. But we went for
your bunko nights and you're going to Georgia at the end of June.
It was for my sister's birthday and my niece's birthday. So
cool.
That we went and took them. So that was way fun. But today's the last day. Then school's out for the summer.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yep.
It feels like the year's been so long, but
short at the same time. I totally know what you mean, yeah.
But we kind of wanted to talk about parenting. We've had conversations a lot lately about parenting. And it's kind of, to me, I'm like, parenting only works if you have the mindset of it's like going to be crazy. It's going to be chaotic. Like it just knowing, you know what I mean? You know, when things are bigger deal when you have unmet expectations, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, we've been talking a lot. I'm like, it's not going to slow down because it's just Maddie and Jack that are in things right now. Like Taft's not even doing anything and Gwen's not even doing anything, but feel like we're running a million miles a minute, but it's not going to slow down anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, when you have one kid that has baseball, like Jack, and to be real, like it's not even close to the commitment it was for him a couple years ago. This year, City League baseball, but Tuesday and Thursday nights when he has games, that takes up pretty much your whole night, even if it's an earlier game. Then you got 3 other kids you're trying to wrangle and work out. But yeah, we've already talked. I know we discussed this, and shout out to Maddie, and I think Jack too he's doing a makeup test. He's got really good grades too, but she told me this morning she's got all A's and 1 A minus.
A minus?
1 A minus.
She got
in
that
math.
one up.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That's awesome.
I'm like, dude, that's freaking rad. And if she does that, if she can keep her grades up, she can do all she wants. I don't care. But if the grades start to slip and she can't keep up and she's not happy in life because she's got too much going on, which is what's tough, and where she's already had that.
Confirmed. It's an A-. She was so excited. Oh my gosh, she's so excited.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited for her.
Yeah, she was so happy. And I'm like, Maddie, that's freaking awesome, dude. And it was funny because I told Jack, I'm like, talk to your teachers, get your grades up, and he had to do a couple makeup tests or whatever.
Yeah.
But she had 2 teachers where she was so close, like such a small percentage away from an A-, that she just talked to them and they looked at some of her work and just gave her the A or the A-,
extra
or the
B. That gave her that
moved it a quarter of a grade, just enough to like get her a little higher. And I'm like, where your grades matter, dude, like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And all you had to do was talk to them. And I'm like, the worst thing that can happen is a teacher's going to yell at you. And who cares? Like, if they yell at you, then whatever, learn from it. But most of the time, they'll either let you know what you can do or, talk to them. And
and I think so.
Communicate.
Yeah.
Weird how that works.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think most teachers, like, want, like, help me help you, But I remember my brother saying, he's a high school teacher. And he's like, I have these kids that come in to me and they're like, what can I do about my grade? And they've literally not done anything all year long. And he's like, I don't do something, like, I don't know, And so it's just like crunch time. So this, with her wanting to, I mean, like I said, she tried out for 6 different things. And I think with her personality, she is going to maybe need to pick and choose a few. I'm just like, as mom, trying to like protect her and help her understand her limits. I don't know. We'll see. And maybe I will end up deciding to let her try them all so that she can learn for herself her limits, I guess. I don't know.
We'll maybe it's just maybe she likes something better than the other, and then we can
exactly.
subtract. But like, look at Elon Musk. That dude runs a gazillion companies and is a multi-trillionaire, whatever, billionaire, and like there are people that can make it work. I have a hard time doing more than a couple things at a time. Yeah. But I have buddies that manage a lot more chaos, and I'm just like, and there's real benefits to that, and I think real successful people can manage that, and you just it's been a learning thing for me, but yeah. Yeah, but I think I told him, or we had kind of like a powwow the other day when we were talking about how. Excuse me, sorry. Did you fart a little? No. I'm just teasing. Just a little bubble in my throat. I know, I'm just teasing. I'm just over here ripping it. Shh. Next time, do it in the mic so everybody hears it. Nope, I'm leaving it in. No, we just kind of had to come to Jesus with the kids about like maybe we need to work on, because it's like at the very end where it's crunch time, right? Like, so I was talking to him about, I don't actually mind if I don't mind if your grade is not 100% perfect, like an A, right? I don't mind if it's not an A if I see that you've done all the work, because that shows me that you at least weren't just slacking off, right? Yeah. And so, so I told him, I'm like, this summer we're going to practice because next year is just going to be crazy town, right? Yeah. And so for her and Jack, like Jack is going to go back to their school and he's going to do show choir and the play, which those are both like high intense time things, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, I don't mind. I don't mind you doing these things, but we need to understand that we need to keep up, because when we're starting to fall behind, it makes it a bigger project instead of a little bit at a time, right? Mm-hmm. And so anyway, we had to come to Jesus about, okay, we're going to learn how to build that skill through the summer by making sure our room's always clean before we can go do anything, or like that we have all these things done before we get to go have the free time or whatever. And I even told Maddie, I said, sometime, or like, you might need to take a computer with you and do homework in the times that you're not mm-hmm. having practice in between times at school, because she'll probably end up living at the school next year. And so I like, it's not like free chat time. Like, you got to get stuff done. So anyway, trying to teach them, okay, we need to make sure there's an order of operation here and we're keeping up, because where we are doing so many things, it's going to be even crazier and it's going to be even less time to do the catch up. So anyway, dude, parenting's hard. Yeah, no kidding.
They're like lazy.
Marriage is hard.
Life's hard.
Life's hard. Before we get too ahead, I told that to Jack. He's like, he's doing his makeup thing this morning in science on the last day of school.
Literally the last day of school.
But I'm like, dude, he's like, I have a couple of classes that are I guess the principal there pushes for no homework.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish I had a principal like that when I was growing up. That'd have been rad. But I'm like, dude, if you don't finish your work while you're in class, because they're supposed to give them time, and then they have makeup time in class too, which I learned about. And I'm like, well, dude, if you're having makeup time and you're not getting the work done, either you're moving too slow or you're talking to friends. I'm sure there's some of both of that. Yeah. Of course, if you ask them, they never talk to friends in class. They're so good, right? And
I was the same way in school.
Totally. For sure.
I didn't never talk to friends.
Yeah.
And I moved really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, if you don't finish your work at school, that is the definition of homework.
Yeah.
So bring the shit home and do it at home. And anyway, he got it and we're cool. But he got a little cranky with me yesterday because I've been taking him to the gym. I'm hard on our kids. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm working on it, and I've kind of been dealing with my own stuff. Me and Jess had a really long conversation. Was it 2 days ago? Yesterday?
Yeah.
2 days ago. But he's like, I took him to the gym last summer, and he just went to bed too late. I burned him out on it, and I could just tell he wasn't into it, even though he wanted to be or thought he wanted to be till he got there. And I've been kind of not my best at the gym the last year either, off and on. And I just said, hey, come, just walk on the treadmill by me, and then just slowly start to jog a lap or run a lap, and just push yourself a little more and track what you're doing so you know, hey, this week I did this good, this week or today I'm doing a little bit better, and I'm just going to improve a little more every day. Yeah. Running is one of those things that you can improve pretty quick on. It's like push-ups. If you just sat down every day and did push-ups, you can improve it really fast. And I love the metaphors for life. Like even today, I told him, I'm like, hey, I've ran 12 miles this week already, and we've gone to the gym Monday till today. I'm like, it's literally, you just chip away little by little, and all of a sudden now you've done. We haven't hardly lifted any weights this week, but we've gone and hit the treadmill every day. And I'm like, see, Jack, how that works? You just chip away little by little, and all of a sudden, wow. You know, today was 3 miles. Yesterday was 3 miles. The day before that was 3 miles. But then it adds up to something bigger. And I said, that's freaking life, man. And
yeah.
So yesterday we were on the treadmill, and I looked over, and he just kept walking. And then he would put his arms up on the treadmill to hold himself when he was running, so he didn't have to
work so hard.
And I said, pull your arms off the rails. I said, pull your arms off the rails. So I'm pretty sure the guy 2 treadmills down was kind of listening. But I'm like, I don't care. I'm in a deep sweat run. I'm 2.5 miles in, hustling my fat butt as best I can. I'm like, jog. I'm like, you don't. And then when he runs, he goes way too fast, and then he burns out. I'm like, don't do that. Just pick a pace that you feel like you can do, and then next time, just go a little further. And even if it's a half a lap further or 1.1 mile per hour faster. Mm-hmm. I said, treadmill running is way easier because
you could track.
No, treadmill running is easier because you're not on the street. You can just run flat. You can go uphill too if you want, but it's easier. You're inside, and it's temperature controlled and all this crap.
Easier to run.
Easier to run. But I said it's harder in the sense you can see exactly where you're at in your lap. You know exactly how fast you're running, and you can hit stop at any moment. And you can hit stop outside, but still it's harder, and you still got to get your butt home or back to your car or whatever,
right.
wherever you ran to. Where a treadmill, I can hit stop and walk out to the parking lot, and I'm home.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this morning was cool because he said this morning he was like, I pushed him again. I said, hey, try to jog every other lap. Don't overdo your speed. Just walk a lap, jog a lap. Try it. He's like, oh, that feels good today, Dad. That felt a lot better. So anyway.
Good.
But yeah. What else?
Sorry. No, I was in our conversation though. I thought it was kind of interesting. We were talking because we're like, okay, A is not slowing down, and honestly, I'm kind of, I don't know. Gwen, you gotta plug it in. There you go. I'm trying to change my mindset because I notice the more I complain, the harder it feels. Right? My mind's not on it all. So it's the 20 trips I'm like, I just have to do this. This just has to happen. And so it is what it is. And so the 20 trips to and from the school didn't seem as big of a deal last week,
Mm-hmm.
because I went into it thinking, yep, it's going to be a lot. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And I think
It's harder when
I've
you
had,
complain.
yeah, well, and I've had the times where I'm just like, oh my gosh, if I have to take her to one more practice, like I'm so excited that she's going to get her license in November. But I even told her, I said, I'm so sorry. I will have a way better attitude next year. Like I can see what it does for me, but not only is it like annoying for me, it's annoying for her because I'll complain about XYZ, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so dumb. Why?
Yeah.
It's not like it's like ruining my life. You know, like why would I complain about?
Because we're freaking tired, dude. We're tired.
I know, but it's not changing and it's not helping the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like parenting is just going to be tiring. It's just what it is. But it's also so awesome and we have amazing children. And sometimes like the things that I get most bugged or irritated about, I was telling you, I get on Instagram and I literally see a reel made of the exact same situation
Totally.
I was just super frustrated about. And I'm
Yeah.
oh, so this is a thing.
Yeah.
This isn't just me and my, like, because we always go back to, oh, I should have taught him better,
Yeah.
right? Or like nipped this in the butt from the beginning. And I'm like, oh, all children go through this phase, or all, you know, like this is not a me specific issue or our family specific issue. So like, oh, we got to remember, is this frustrating? Absolutely. Like for one thing, sorry, Maddie, I hope you're okay with this, but she had been so busy that like her room literally looks like it threw up, like her closet threw up. You could barely walk in it. So I was asking, I was polling my friends and I said, so like, were we this messy when we were teenagers? And one of them said, oh yeah, yep. My dad totally came in and flipped my mattress over one time because he was so pissed because my room was so messy. I'm like, okay, you know, like and then I just had the perspective. I'm like, I am shutting that door. And as soon as school's out, like I'm just like letting her let it be, like let chaos ensue and then we'll clean it up and go from there. But it's just one of those things. Again, I'm like, okay, check yourself, check what that's meaning to you and why I'm so bugged by it. But I do not throw my clothes like that. Like I'll change, and I told her this the other day. I'm like, I'll change and like throw my clothes on the shelf or something. But then by the next time I change, I've moved all that stuff back again, right? Like the little baby steps of like keeping it clean is just like putting it back.
I'd love to do a poll for women to see how many pairs of clothes they try on before they actually go outside.
Ooh, we should ask.
Because like I have a lot, like this is a built t-shirt, okay?
You have
like
a uniform.
I have like 5 built shirts. Like I find something that works. I have these pair of Vans that I like, so I bought them in like 5 different colors or whatever. Whatever works, I just buy a bunch of them. And then I just like, okay, I'm going to wear this today, and I just get dressed.
Yeah.
With women and you ladies, it's not. It's like, well, you have 3 things that could, what am I trying to say?
That can make 5 outfits.
Yes. So you're like, okay, will I wear this leopard with the jeans today, or am I going to wear this leopard with the black pants, or do I wear the sweatshirt leopard? It's all leopard. It doesn't matter. But there's 10 different leopard ones.
Only in my closet.
And
only in my closet.
And I'm like, there are so many outfits sitting out here. And so that's why I'm like, okay, her room's a disaster, but she must be the same way Jess is, where she tries on 20 different things or pulls out 10 things to see. I'm like, you can't just look in your closet and say, okay, I'm going to wear this, and this. Is that how every girl is? I don't know.
Pretty sure.
Anyway.
But like I said, like literally you have a uniform. You
in
have
every other way, you're
shirt,
low maintenance, pretty
and you
much.
have the same pants. So you know that they fit the exact way that you want them to fit. You know what they're going to look like. And so you can just grab and go, right? Like I can't do that. That's not the way my brain works. Yeah. And I'm more like, I'm a feel it out for the day type of dresser too. So if I'm like in a mood where I'm just like, I just want to be comfortable. Like, don't have me being in these tight, fancy things, right? Like, depending on the day, depends on how I dress too. So on vacations, I'll pack extra clothes. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to want to wear this type or this type of clothing. So, no, I'm not that way. I can't wear a uniform,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we just need to get into a routine with them where it's like part of the issue, like bedtime at our house. And I was talking to another friend at work the other day, but like, is like the least favorite part of my day.
Of
usually.
everybody's day.
And some nights it goes pretty smooth, but other nights, like, I feel like I have to get angry for everybody to like get to bed.
Yeah.
And again, like this whole week, I think part of the reason I'm like struggling this week is because like I would love to be in bed by 9 p.m. straight up. Then I can get up earlier.
Let me get on Instagram for 5 minutes, and I will show you that everybody else is having that same issue with all of their children.
But we just need to start earlier in the day, and that's not happening. And I can already see like summer is gonna get crazy, and I'm just like that's why I have to just okay, good night, guys, and I'll go to bed before everybody because I need to sleep a little. And then I get up, and you wonder why I'm cranky at like 7 o'clock. I'm like, I want to be violent and hurt everybody.
That's a you choice.
Yeah, and it's a you choice to not let me sleep. So we all
I let
deal
you go
with it.
in.
I need to tell Maddie that if she hasn't said goodnight by 10 o'clock and I'm asleep, to let me just sleep. Tell me that you love me the next day.
You're going to miss it.
Yeah.
You're going to miss her coming to tell you goodnight.
One day.
You will.
Yeah.
I know.
Let me sleep right now, though. Text me.
You're such
Shoot
a
me a
freaking
text.
ornery Gus already. You're like the cranky old man.
Yeah, I
already.
am. I'm going to be the freaking a-hole.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. Oh, you're stepping on my grass again, are you?
Watching with his little camera.
I just watered it.
The
Smashed
best
my
is that
blades
you're gonna
down.
be like the up grandpa, where this is totally you. You're
What?
just like ornery, and then once somebody like it penetrates your heart a little bit, then you just melt it better and you just
That's not a good enough scenario to use the word penetrate. Let's
Oh
use
my
a different.
not a good enough reason to use it.
Is that Pitch Perfect?
Yeah. Good catch, babe.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Penetrates my heart.
Yeah, like when they like get in there a little bit, you know?
I guess it's better than what it could.
When they soften you up a little
Penetrate.
bit or get past your little
Hello.
anger wall.
Bah humbug. Yeah, June's going to be crazy too. I got that parade home. I'm not planning to be there a ton, so that'll be nice, but then you're leaving town and it'll be good. Anyway, if you're struggling trying to survive as a parent, let us know you're not alone. We had to have a little come to Jesus in our marriage this week and had to chat some things out. It's life. It's not easy all the time, but it's good. And you're right, dude. We will miss it one day, and we're blessed. And it's life is really good, and it's better to look at the good side.
And they're
and the
really
upside.
good kids.
We have awesome
we
kids.
really do have really good kids.
Yeah, most of the stuff I get mad about or I'm nagging about, most of it's like, why didn't you pick up? Why is your backpack? Why are your socks in the kitchen by the fridge right now? Like, why? Why is there popcorn all over the floor? Or do we really need to wash that again? We just clean that, or it's just pick up after yourself. And there's that quote in the church. What is it? Cleanliness is next to godliness. Mm-hmm. For me, it's just like cleanliness helps me keep my sanity, and it makes everything feel better, you know?
Yeah.
Even the cleaning lady at work, she's like, your office is always like so organized. And I'm like, I cannot work if it isn't, which is a problem too, you know?
Yeah.
It just needs to look nice, because otherwise I'm like,
Visually be appealing.
yeah, it just helps me focus a little bit better. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know,
Calms
organize
you.
your surroundings and organize your mind. Jordan Peterson, make your bed, because then you did that, and you can do more and build on that, you know.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I don't make our bed. You do.
You're
really
welcome.
bad at that. But I'm usually the first one up.
I was
so.
just gonna say that. I'm like, that's
In
because
my
I'm
defense.
still in it when
No,
you
yeah.
get out.
I could be better about it though, and cleaning and a lot of stuff. But you guys are awesome.
Anyway, all to say, parenting is kind of rough, but our attitude or our thought process behind it can help or hinder, in my opinion. This is the world of Jessica. I feel like there are definitely things that we need to be teaching them and like working hard and get like
I wouldn't
things
change
like
it
that.
for the world. Yeah. No,
But
having our
honestly,
family
to
and
me,
our
I'm
kids are
like,
awesome.
I usually come down to like with Maddie in her room. I'm like, she literally does everything else like
Yeah.
near perfect.
No, they're awesome.
You know,
kids.
so I'm like,
Yeah.
if her room is the one thing that's like the free all, which to me, I'm like, you will feel better on the inside if your room is clean. Like, I get that. I totally do too. You just feel more relaxed or whatever. But if that's her one like outlet to be crazy,
Yeah.
is to have a crazy dirty room or something.
No, they're
you
awesome.
know?
And again, yeah, like
So-
they're bringing us so much. We laugh and they're so much fun. Like nothing makes me happier than watching two of our kids play together and laugh. You know,
Yeah.
when they get along and things are going smooth. Like those little moments are gold. You
Yeah.
know?
So.
But
anyway.
it's hard. Like life is never totally balanced. I was talking to Johnny about this the other day. It's just like, yeah, he's like, there's always this seems to be like one thing out of whack, you know.
Yep.
If money's coming in and things are working out at work and things are for the most part going well at home, there still could be something to juggle with an issue with the kid or with too much going on in a schedule or not being there enough as a parent when you need to be and
I think that like
being more present when you're
think,
home. And
honestly, sometimes it's like a juggling act between you and I too, where it's like I can handle being busy all the time, where you're like, I need to stop, I need to decompress, which I totally get too.
Yeah.
And so, so like for me, when there's like stuff on the calendar every day, like that doesn't stress me out. Like, but for you, like
does,
you need that day off. So it's like, okay, how do we do it? Because I can't change that they have all these things going or whatever. But we can change how we handle it. Like, okay, I'll take on these things because they're things that I don't mind doing, and you can, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like balance it that way. I think more just like figuring out how to in each of the phases.
Yeah.
How we balance it together so that nobody's feeling overwhelmed or everybody's doing their part, but not.
Yeah.
Well,
you've been really good too. Like you sent me Jack's baseball schedule and a calendar so I could just accept all the invites and I know when his games are, like I know the days and times of all of his games, you know.
Yeah.
And just sharing a calendar is such a huge.
You can get there with work.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And then when I'm booking things at work, because our schedule's crazy anyway, it's like, okay, tonight I'm going to try to make Jack's game. I'm going to make Jack's game. I'm going to, just kind of juggle that with, because if not, you could just run a work schedule till you go to bed, you know?
Yeah.
At least, yeah. But then I actually heard, I'll close with this if you're good with that, but
yeah.
Sean Whalen, I just saw a clip of his podcast on Instagram the other day, and I think he was talking with his wife, and he's like, so many people when they're at work will get a call from their kids or their wife and silence the call, but when they get home, they're not silencing the work calls. They're prioritizing work. And he's like, you don't need to do that. He's like, you need to alter and change that. And I'm like, holy crap, this hits deep.
Yeah.
For me, you know, and I have actually been like,
but
lately I've been better with it, but it is something that'll just freaking run your life. We feel like we have to respond and have to do certain things, and guess what? You don't.
Yeah.
No one's gonna miss. I've said this before. I mentioned the 7-minute thing. I don't even know if I mentioned where I heard it, but I was at a Narcotics Anonymous meeting with my cousin last year, and some guy talked about how he had this job and he was a recovering drug addict and everything, and he drove like a delivery truck or something. And he's like, I would pull off the side of the road and just have quiet time, like 7 minutes of meditation or something. He's like, and I've learned that nobody misses 7 minutes. Yeah. And I'm like, man, and that I have never forgotten that. I'm like, that's actually like so good, even just for me to hear that, like, it's 7 minutes, dude, or it's dinner time. No one's gonna miss 30 minutes. Yeah. Most of the time, it can wait a minute, you know. Yeah. My phone's been buzzing, so I just put it on sleep this morning while we've been chatting here, and I'm like, I can get to that in the next hour or two. Doesn't matter. Yeah. You know. And it's hard. We talked about that. You just sometimes with this job with real estate, you know, you feel like you do have to respond right away, and you want to do a good job for people, but most people understand, and it's and people are cool and they get it too, you know. Yeah,
we're just in such a like immediate gratification world that it's hard because you're like, oh, I need to get back to him right away, or I need to get on top of this right away because because something bad might happen, right? Like it's always like the sky will fall if I don't get this done, or this whole deal's gonna break if I don't do it right now, you know?
Yeah.
And so, and people kind of almost expect that too.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, I'm like, when I text somebody and ask them a question, I'm so like used to just automatically getting my questions answered from Google or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
That now it's like, okay, are they ever going to get back to me? You know?
Yeah.
So I see both sides of it. But again, yeah, I'm with you. It'll be okay. It'll all work out. It'll still be there tomorrow.
I've had people that I work with say, "Don't respond so quickly." Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, let it sit for a minute sometimes. Like, and I'm like, you know what? That is a good point. Sometimes things figure themselves out. I don't need to be so quick to respond.
Yeah.
On certain things, and it's okay to let it lie for a minute, you know. And I thought, you know what, he's right. Like, I don't
Hayden
need to
right away. You just need to turn the knob one more slot. That's what you're trying to tell me.
Check the manhole in the driveway that we put there before you say the pipe's broken out the driveway. The sky's falling.
How was I supposed to know to look at the manhole?
I don't know.
This is not my.
It's the only hole in the driveway. I'm just teasing.
Deal.
No, but it's a real thing, man.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Yep.
And
mindset and our priorities. That's your message for today. Check those two things.
Yep.
I love you.
Love you most.